What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we put on one hell of a show to end up walking away of the top team in the Western Conference. We walked away from their territory, looking like it was a Bulls home game because there were so many Bulls fans there and so many Bulls fans cheering on this team for all four quarters, and two, the most important thing, we walked away with a win. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm terrified of the Denver Nuggets. I've always been scared of their play. They're a matchup nightmare for the Chicago Bulls, but we did something that we haven't done in a long time. We played, we ran, and we committed to each other as a team. And I think that was the clear definition of walking away with this win today, and that is the sole reason why I believe we won this game against the Denver Nuggets. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls overall game today, your player of the game, and your thoughts and opinions on how well the Bulls truly played. We won this game 117-96. A true fantastic performance in every sense of the word, and a fantastic second half that we don't normally see from the Chicago Bulls team. But when you look at games like this, you always question, you always ask why we can't see that level of commitment, that level of intensity every single game. And if we do see that level of commitment and that level of intensity every single game, we would have much more wins than we have losses, and we would be competing in the Eastern Conference, but we don't see it enough. And again, it's happy to see during the time, but it also makes you remember the disappointing moments that the Bulls had throughout the season. And again, it just makes you wonder these things and how disappointing the Bulls have been this season. But if you're looking at a one-game basis, this was a phenomenal game from the Chicago Bulls. And again, it does start with running as a team. In my opinion, what really changed from the first half to the second half was our ability to run and run together. It wasn't two players running and half of them staying back. It seemed like 4 or 5 players were really running with each other. When we're missing open layups, there were guys behind them ready to put it back. When we're getting steals and helping each other on the defensive end, we were all running out in transition. In my opinion, we beat the Denver Nuggets today because we were faster than them. We outran them. We pushed harder than them. And at the end of the day, that was, in my opinion, the biggest reason why we won this game. And that's what we should be known for. That's what, for many people, that's what we are known for. But we don't do it enough. We're very, very much a slow tempo, try to get into our sets type team, enter it into the post or isolation or pick and rolls. That's usually our mentality. But when you got guys on the bench that are willing to run, when you got guys in the starting lineup today that was willing to run, I think we do prove to be a very dangerous team. And Denver are not that big of a running team. They like to run out on occasion, but with Jokic in the team trying to dictate the play, they're not necessarily the fastest team in the NBA. They dominate the paint, and they're the best team in terms of three-point percentage and the three-point attempts made in the NBA. They are the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. But if you can beat them in transition, force them to commit turnovers, I think that's where our success really came from. We were great in that department today. I didn't know which side of the coin I was feeling towards what lineup we should see. I still stand by the fact that I think we do need a lineup change. I still stand by the fact that I believe that against most teams in the NBA, not necessarily even most teams, against the bigger teams in the NBA, you're better off starting Patrick Williams, or you're better off starting Derrick Jones Jr. because the offensive rebounding is still a big problem for the Chicago Bulls. Before I get any further, I do actually want to check the offensive rebounding stats, so bear with me for a moment. Our offensive rebounding ended up being, we had 9 offensive rebounds, and Denver ended up having 11. So we still got basically out-rebounded in that department, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as we've normally come to see. It's not that big of an issue compared to getting out-rebounded offensively by 9, or getting out-rebounded offensively by 13, or allowing Denver to take 20 or 30 more shots than the Chicago Bulls. Those were not big problems today, and that's why I think we played phenomenally well, and I think it's why we won the game as well. Again, so many beautiful performances. It is hard to describe how fantastic this game was, but as I'll always come back to this. Where is that level of commitment and intensity in every single other game? I'm not asking for them to beat every single team by 30 points. Again, even the best teams in the NBA, Denver's the best team in the Western Conference. They cannot beat every single team 30, 40 points every single game. They will have off games like today. They will disappoint sometimes. But at the end of the day, their commitment and their energy levels are fairly similar every single game, and they are consistent most games. That's where the Bulls need to get to. That's where our level has to be. And I'm not going to change my mind off of one game, no matter how great the game was today. We still, in my opinion, need to see changes. There's still big decisions to make in the offseason. But again, it was a very enjoyable game to watch. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't enjoy that performance. I didn't enjoy that game. That was an amazing game by the Bulls team. And again, if we are trying to compete for a play-in spot, Wizards lost today. A lot of people thought we would lose to Denver, including myself. I thought we would lose to Denver. So it's a great game to have under your belt. And we'll wait and see what ends up happening in the future. Going to take it one game at a time, and it was a very good game to watch. Let's look at the individual performances, starting off with DeMar DeRozan, who had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists alongside 3 steals in the game. Very, very good from DeMar DeRozan. 8 assists today. And again, I thought he really helped facilitate how things went throughout the game. He was also fairly decent in transition. I always consider DeMar DeRozan as someone that likes to play it slow down the tempo, I guess get into his own rhythm, take his mid-range shots, and then again, just go back on the other end and see and live with what ends up happening. Today, I saw DeMar DeRozan run, and he was often, I guess, part of the fast break opportunities. He was getting his own dunks. He was getting putbacks from a Kobe White miss. He was getting very, very good transition points. So very, very happy with DeMar DeRozan today. Although it wasn't a 29-point performance like we probably should continue to see from DeMar DeRozan, to say he didn't have a massive part in this game is naive. I thought he was great in this game. Alex Caruso, he had a 6.3 rebounds and 2 assist performance with 1 steal, 3 from 8 from the field, 0 from 2 from the 3-point line. Alex Caruso is the same. I thought a lot of his buckets came from transition, and it came from driving and attacking the paint. These two teams are usually the best at attacking the paint. The Bulls don't do it enough, but by percentage, they are very good at attacking the paint. Denver are very good at attacking the paint. So it was a very balanced, I guess, area in that department. I just thought the Bulls were faster and attacked the paint more today. And Alex Caruso helped in that department. His defense wasn't too bad whatsoever. Can't really say too much about Alex Caruso today. Nikola Vucevic, 25 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 assists in this game. 9 from 17 from the field, 2 from 4 from the 3-point line. Nikola Vucevic back at his sparkling best. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm not going to lie to you. Nikola Vucevic the past 2 weeks has been very, very bad for the Bulls. Again, I guess his averages of 17 points and 11 rebounds, it was much, much lower. He declined in those departments, and we don't know why. But again, this matchup with Nikola Jokic is usually a tough one for every center in the NBA, including Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Jokic was fantastic today. He was. He always is. He's an MVP caliber player for a reason. But when it comes to Nikola Vucevic, in my opinion, this matchup probably suits him more than the small ball centers running all around him, trying to be faster than him, or trying to catch up with these very athletic centers that can just do amazing things off the lobs and just off of pick and rolls and stuff like that. And again, when Vucevic is actually faster than than the center that he's guarding, I think that works wonders for him. And I have not seen Vucevic move like that since the preseason. He was running out in transition as well. He was beating Jokic off the dribble. He was attacking the basket. Of course, his 3-point shooting wasn't too bad either today. Again, I did not see him move like that in a long, long time. So there was clearly an incentive at halftime to push the tempo. And when your center is doing that, there's no excuse for anybody else to not be doing that. And I think we did a great job, and Vucevic had a great game. He definitely held his own in this matchup. Zach LaVine had a 29.5 rebound and 4 assist performance with 2 steals on the night, 12 from 18 from the field, and 3 from 5 from the 3-point line. What I will say about Zach LaVine is that post All-Star break, this has been the best version of Zach LaVine we've seen in 2 years. You might say that Zach LaVine had, I guess, a really good start to last season with his 40% from the 3-point line, and he was averaging around 28 points per game, around that mark, with Lonzo Ball as well. But that's just it. He had a very, very good starting caliber point guard next to him that allowed him to do his thing. Patrick Beverley, I wouldn't necessarily call him an elite starting point guard, but he allows Zach LaVine to do his thing offensively. And I think because of that, Zach LaVine is actually having a better stretch this time around than the beginning of last season. But of course, again, it doesn't necessarily change the fact that he didn't have a great start to this season, and the middle of this season fairly inconsistent, but he's definitely picked things up towards the end of the year. And again, there's no other time that we need it more than now. We need Zach LaVine every single game going forward. Can't take games off, can't be inconsistent, put the ball in the basket, do your thing, be an offensive weapon that we know that you are, and see how things go. And he did a great job in that department today. Very, very good game from Zach LaVine. Patrick Beverley, 3 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on the night with 1 block as well. +6 in the plus minus. With Patrick Beverley, again, he's always going to be a mixed bag for most people. Provides amazing defense, definitely did today. Some very good defensive displays on Jamal Murray. Forced Jamal Murray into some very tough shots. Some of them he made, some of them he didn't. But offensively, he doesn't provide much in terms of the scoring side of things. He's become a very solid playmaker with the Bulls, getting some open looks for some of our superstars, which is always nice to see. Made a 3-point shot today, not too bad as well. And again, it was in transition, that 3-point shot. So another transition point for the Bulls. But yeah, he's always going to be a mixed bag. But when we're winning and we're seeing the real impact defensively, I think a lot of people will give a lot of credit to Patrick Beverley, which is where I probably sit in today's video, giving him a lot of credit for his defensive work today against a very strong 3-point shooting Denver Nuggets team. There's 2 ways this could have went. Since they're a bigger team, you've got Aaron Gordon in the team, you've got Michael Porter Jr. in the team. They're a big team. They could have dominated the offensive glass, take 30, 40 more shots than us at this point, because we always seem to give up a lot of shots. And it could have been a game where that's where we got dominated and we lose. Or they were going to try and beat us on the 3-point line, which is usually what they do since they are the best 3-point shooting team. So we are a very good perimeter defensive team. I believe that. I believe in terms of adding Patrick Beverley into this team, we are much better at guarding the 3-point line. And I think that really helped us in that department. So Patrick Beverley and Alex Caruso, I often give a lot of, criticism towards Billy Donovan. That might have been the right call today. So I'll give him that respect in that department as well. Coby White, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, only 3 from 10 from the field today from Coby White, 1 from 6 from the 3-point line. Scoring-wise, you look at 7 points and you think that's okay. Percentage-wise, wasn't necessarily the best. I think if he was somewhat efficient today, he could have got at least 15 points in this game. Very, very disappointing. But again, I'm not going to say too much about Coby White. We know he's been very inconsistent in the scoring department for years now, but it's always been the other attributes that he brings. He's still very good at his energy. He's still rebounding well for a guard. He got 4 assists today as well. Playmaking was fairly solid. And there were a couple of turnovers in there as well, at least 1 that I know of. And yeah, not too bad from Coby White. Patrick Williams was fantastic today, man. 18 points, 4 rebounds with 1 steal on the night. Very, very good from Patrick Williams off of the bench, becoming a lot more aggressive in his areas today. 9 shots today, 8 from 9. So he had a great efficiency night as well. I didn't expect that. I didn't notice that whatsoever, but that's exactly what he had. Again, Patrick Williams off the bench, aggressive-wise and being an offensive, player, has improved. It might not be a massive improvement, but it's an improvement nonetheless. Yes, I still believe he should be starting just because, or even Derrick Jones. I would take one of the two just because when we verse bigger teams, it's clear where our problems are. And Denver didn't capitalize on those problems today, but it doesn't mean those problems are not there. And I do think that is a big problem for the Bulls. So I do think athletic, taller players should be the way to go in this instance. And we'll wait and see what ends up happening in the future. It might take a little bit longer for Billy Donovan to see what I think I see. But maybe what I see is a little bit too naive. I'm not too sure. But we need to see more performances like this. And I'll take any starting lineup if we see more performances like this in the future. And Patrick Williams was fantastic today. Andre Drummond, 2 points and 5 rebounds with 1 steal. Not the best from Andre Drummond, but again, he's been fairly inconsistent this season towards the end. And I still feel like when it comes to Andre Drummond, this is definitely a stretch of games where he's been disappointing. Remember the first time he got dropped, he came back and he was unbelievable, getting like 6.7 rebounds, 8 points and 11 rebounds. Sometimes it's double-doubles, just being fantastic for the Bulls. That's definitely not what we're seeing from Andre Drummond now. It's definitely been fairly mediocre for the most part. And I still think he's needed. I still think his rebounding is a necessity considering we struggle rebounding-wise. But we do need to see improved performances from Andre Drummond. And Ayo Dosunmu, 8 points, 1 rebound with 2 steals on the night. Everybody else played in garbage time, but Ayo got a nice couple of steals and transition points as well. Not too shabby from Ayo Dosunmu. And that's all we've got to talk about in relation to the team today. My must improve, I will pick Andre Drummond for his disappointing performance today, but I won't go any much further into that. There's no need to really target anybody when you're winning the way that you win in this game. My player of the game, I mean, Zach and Vooch and DeMar. I think big three were very, very good today. You know what? Considering he was guarding the MVP of the league, most likely, at least, you know, his opportunity to get his third MVP, I'm going to pick Nikola Vucevic. I really thought he held his own in this game. I thought he was fantastic in terms of the transition again, being able to run out and beat Nikola Jokic down the court. Just, again, and playing his own game and definitely getting back to his best form. So I will pick Vucevic, but shout out to LaVine. I thought he was fantastic today as well. His defense as well, not getting enough credit for his defense these days, but he's getting, in my opinion, that credit from me today. And offensively, I think we all can clearly see what he brings to the table since the post-All-Star break. And that's it for the Chicago Bulls. Our next game is going to be against the Houston Rockets. Now, how much money do you want to bet that the Chicago Bulls will lose to the Houston Rockets? This is exactly what they're known for. Yes, I still think it's a myth that they always beat good teams. That's not true because we've lost to a lot of good teams over the past couple of months as well. It was probably true at the beginning of the season, not so much now. But we have seen us lose to a lot of bad teams. So what's the odds that we come out, incredible game against the Denver Nuggets, one of our best for sure, and then we turn to Houston and we lose, we disappoint, we end up slacking off, we take them lightly, and we end up just embarrassing ourselves in that department? I think a lot of people are willing to take that bet. Look, I'm hoping the Bulls can win this game. I am. I really am. Will we? I'm not too sure. I still feel like we're fairly balanced. We're around the 500 mark since the post-All-Star break. So I can expect inconsistency, especially away from home, especially out in the West. I expect it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lost to Houston, but hopefully we don't. I don't want to lose to Houston, and hopefully we win the game and build that momentum. Again, if you want to win, if you want to compete in the play-in tournament, even get a spot in the play-in tournament, there is no time for losing. You got to keep on winning. Show that confidence that you believe you have. If you have confidence, you need to show it. And I think the Bulls team will have confidence heading into this game against Houston. So I'll end the video here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.